is difficult, that sort of, that moment when everyone tells you, who's older than you, that there will become a time when you start to feel old, or that you suddenly realise you've got to stop whatever you do, whether it's football, whatever it is. Hopefully you get that message in your brain, and your brain says, look, you need to stop this and redirect. I think the thing about the beach and the seaside, it's the fact that you can look out at sea, you can see the horizon. There's no built stuff. It just kind of gives an empty space without clutter, and you can look out and just think out there and clear your head. I quite like that. It's quite, the water's always, you know, scientifically proved to be quite sort of calming, the waves, etc. And it is that. But I actually just like to look out and see nothing of the world. Just the sea, that kind of calms me down from all of the stuff that goes in your head. A lot of people move when they retire and then have a very short retirement. I wanted to move to the coast while I could still enjoy it. So I started motocross in 1984. So I had bikes from when I was maybe 10. You know, it wasn't one of those things that, you know, I thought motocross, yeah, I definitely want to do motocross. It was BMX and those kind of things, jumping push bikes first. I kind of liked that side of it. Around about that time, there'd still be things like Evel Knievel, Eddie Kidd, those kind of stunt shows that had motorcycles in it. So doing jumps on motorbikes, and I was doing them on push bikes. So it was just a mental challenge and a physical challenge that really sort of turned me on to that stuff. Throughout the day or whatever you're at work, there's so much that's going on to stimulate your brain, and sometimes it's all kind of muddled up. The whole biking thing, the whole side of that, from training, riding, cleaning and prep, brings a sort of focus and completion thing to it. It's almost a moment of calm. It's a hard thing on your body as you get older. The accumulation of injuries really just take their toll. You lose flexibility, etc. Things break and come out of joint. But the thing that really stopped me first was actually training super hard for an event. I ended up getting blood clots behind my knee that went into my lungs, 2 sets of those. Extremely sort of painful. At one point I thought I was going to lose my leg through infection, where they had to dig out where the blood clots were. Fortunately they didn't. I tried to make a comeback from that just on the training side, and I found out that I also blew my back out at the same time. So I had a disc problem in my back. I had a prolapse disc, so it's just where the little kind of squidgy bit in between the vertebra starts to protrude out. But it got to such a severe point that it bent me over, where my back was trying to open up a gap to let my disc get away from the nerve. So I was pretty much crippled over in pain and also mobility. I couldn't stand upright and I couldn't walk. And that was one kind of injury or weakness too far to allow me to do it. Do you know, it's a sudden realization of mortality, of that you are getting fragile. You know, for absolutely years, I've absolutely seen myself as invincible. And then when you get some sort of injury and it starts to knock you back, I've actually found age means it's harder to recover. And it's a difficult thing to cope with, because I think one of the biggest things on the earth is no one likes the sense of getting older. You talk to a 20-year-old and they fear getting to 30 or 40. I'm in my 50s now, and I've never felt like I was a 50-year-old until these injuries came along, and I've gone from being very fit to feeling quite fragile. And it's a nervous kind of transition of trying to figure out, how much do I push myself? Is it worth pushing myself? What will that bring on? It's a tricky thing. It's a more mental game than it is a physical game. getting old isn't the end, it just means you can try something different. And if you've been doing the same stuff for years, which I had, it's been a mental deprogramming of what you do. There's masses of things out there, masses. Pick a few. You can't stop time and you can't stop being old. There just isn't a way. You can keep training as long as you can, and I've done that, but actually it's the mental side of it which is more difficult. Have a look at where you are, where you want to go. I'm looking towards retirement and stuff that I'd like to do. I've actually, you know, I'm maybe weird in looking at going, well, what can I probably still do when I'm 80 or 90 and I can still do that now? And, you know, anyone going through this, it's about just keeping yourself mentally in the game. Find something that keeps you stimulated and go and try it. Try different things.